Hello, my dear child. It's Grandpa, sitting here in my favorite old chair, the one that creaks just right. I've been thinking about you, and I want to have a quiet talk today. Sometimes life feels heavy, doesn't it? Like you're wandering in a fog, unsure which way to turn. If you're feeling lost right now, this is for you. I'm going to share some stories, a bit of advice, and a whole lot of love, just like I would if you were sitting here with me. So, settle in, take a deep breath, and let's walk through this together. I've been lost a few times myself, not just on country roads, though I've had my share of wrong turns there too. I mean lost in my heart, in my purpose. When I was young, about your age, I thought I had to have it all figured out. Where I was going, what I'd be, how I'd make my mark. But life doesn't work like that. It's more like a river, twisting and turning, sometimes calm, sometimes wild. There was a time I felt so adrift I didn't know who I was anymore. Let me tell you about it. Back when I was starting out, newly married to your grandma, I had a job at a lumber yard. It was hard work, long hours, and it paid just enough to keep the lights on. I wanted more, not just money, but a sense that I was building something bigger. I'd see folks in town with fancy jobs, driving nice cars, and I'd wonder what I was doing wrong. One winter, the yard cut my hours. Bills piled up, and your grandma was expecting your mom. I felt like I was failing them. I'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, my mind spinning. I didn't know where to turn, what to do next. I was lost, child, in a way that made my bones ache. One evening, your grandma sat me down. She took my hand, looked me in the eye, and said, "John, you're not lost. You're just looking at the wrong map." She meant I was measuring my life by what others had, not by what mattered to us. That night, we talked for hours about our dreams, our little family, the kind of home we wanted to build, not with bricks, but with love. It didn't fix the bills, but it gave me a spark, a direction. I started to see that being lost wasn't the end. It was a chance to find a new path. If you're feeling lost right now, let me say this. It's okay. You don't have to have all the answers today. Being lost means you're searching, and searching means you care. That's a good place to start. Let me share some advice to help you find your way. First, take a moment to breathe. When you're in a storm, it's easy to panic, to run in circles. But if you stop just for a minute and let your heart settle, you'll hear your own voice again. I used to go for walks when I felt stuck. I'd wander down by the creek behind our house, listen to the water, let my thoughts untangle. Find a quiet spot, your porch, a park bench, even your room, and give yourself that gift. Next, think about what anchors you. For me, it's always been faith and family. Faith reminds me there's a bigger plan, even when I can't see it. Family, your grandma, your mom, your uncles, they're my reason to keep going. When I was lost, I leaned on them. I'd talk to your grandma about my fears, or I'd play catch with your uncle to clear my head. Who anchors you, child? Maybe it's your parents, a sibling, a friend who feels like home. Reach out to them. You don't have to carry this alone. A phone call, a coffee, even a letter. It can feel like a lifeline. Let me tell you another story, one that taught me about finding light in dark times. When your mom was little, maybe 6 or 7, we hit a rough patch. I'd lost a job, and we had to move to a smaller place, far from our old friends. I felt like I'd let everyone down. One night, I was tucking your mom into bed, and she looked up at me, her eyes big and serious. She said, "Daddy, are we going to be okay?" I didn't have a good answer, but I hugged her tight and said, "We've got each other. That's enough." The next day, She came home from school with a drawing, a little house with a big sun over it, and us holding hands. She said, "This is us, Daddy. We're still family." That drawing hung on our fridge for years. It reminded me that even when I felt lost, I had a home in the people I loved. Here's another piece of advice. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I used to think I had to solve everything myself, that asking was a sign of weakness. But child, it's the opposite. It takes courage to say, "I'm struggling." When I was out of work, I swallowed my pride and talked to a friend at church. He didn't have a job to give, but he brought us groceries, sat with me, listened. That kindness carried me through. If you're feeling lost, talk to someone, a friend, a teacher, a pastor, even a counselor. There's no shame in needing a hand to hold. Sometimes, feeling lost comes from comparing yourself to others. I did that too much when I was younger. I'd see my cousin Frank, who had a big job in the city, and feel like I was falling behind. But one day, Frank came to visit, and he looked worn out. He told me he envied my life. The way your grandma and I laughed together, the way our kids ran wild in the yard. I realized then that everyone feels lost sometimes, no matter what their life looks like. Your path is yours alone. Don't measure it against someone else's map. Here's something else to try. Do one small thing that feels good. When I was down, I'd fix something. A squeaky door, a broken chair. It wasn't much, but it gave me a sense of control, a reminder I could still make things better. Maybe for you, it's cooking a meal, writing a letter, planting a flower. Small steps lead to bigger ones. I remember a time I felt so low, I didn't want to get out of bed. Your grandma dragged me to the garden, handed me a shovel, and said, "Plant these beans. They need you." I grumbled, but I did it. Watching those beans grow, week by week, gave me hope. It showed me life keeps moving, even when you feel stuck. Let me share one more story. From when I was older, your grandma had passed, and I was living alone for the first time in decades. The house felt too quiet, too big. I'd walk past her garden, see her roses wilting, and feel like I'd lost my way again. I was grieving, child, and grief can make the world feel like a maze. One morning, I decided to tend those roses. I pruned them, watered them, talked to them like she used to. It didn't bring her back, but it brought me closer to her. Slowly, I started to find my footing. I joined a book club, started helping at the community center. I learned that even in the darkest times, you can find pieces of yourself again, one choice at a time. If you're feeling lost, know that you're not broken. You're human, and humans wander sometimes. What matters is that you keep moving, even if it's a shuffle. Trust that you'll find your way, not because life is easy, but because you're stronger than you know. I've seen it in you, child. You've got a heart that's searching for truth, and that's a beautiful thing. Here's my last bit of advice for today. Hold on to hope. It's like a candle in the dark. It doesn't fix everything, but it shows you where to step. When I was at my lowest, hope was believing tomorrow might be a little kinder. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, but I kept walking. Write down one thing you're grateful for each day, even if it's just a warm bed or a kind word. Those notes add up like a trail of breadcrumbs leading you home. Before I go, I want to ask you something from the bottom of my heart. If this talk has warmed your soul, if it's given you a bit of light when things feel heavy, please hit that subscribe button. It's not just a button. It's a way to join this family, to sit with me every week and share these moments. Your support keeps Grandpa Talk going, keeps these stories and lessons alive for you and others who need them. It means everything to know you're out there, listening, growing, finding your way with me. I love you, child. You're not alone, not ever. Grandpa's here, cheering you on, believing in you. Until next time, keep your heart open and your steps steady. You'll find your way, one day at a time.